So, good evening, gang. Good evening, gang. Figured I'd go live spontaneously, stuck just to go over two things, and we'll see who pops on. I'll give you guys a few minutes here, and two fun topics. Really, two fun topics. Um, let's see who hops on here. I hope you're all having a great week, by the way. And it's kind of weird. 3 days without baseball. Tomorrow's game one of the World Series, and Arizona Diamondbacks versus the Texas Rangers, with Texas having home field advantage. This is going to be an interesting one. The dynamic upstart at Arizona roster and lineup versus the power laden Texas lineup. So both of which have young dynamic players. But let me know when you're here, by the way, gang. Okay, let me know when you're here. I'm I think you might find this one interesting. I think you might find this interesting. So for those of you who haven't heard, there's more chatter going on tonight. I just had a couple questions. Got a couple questions. So we got 30 people in here already. All right, gang. So what's up? Shout out to everybody in here. Let me know you're here in the comments so I can say hi. Mike, what's good, man? How are you? Good evening. Thank you for coming on. I won't keep you guys and gals too long, but these two topics were fascinating to cover. So Brandon, here he is. Yeah, well, it's one of the topics I wanted to bring up, Brandon. Jesse, what's good? Suzanne, hello. Hello. Mark, what's happening, sir? How are you? How are you? Good evening, everybody. And look at the title of my heading here. Co-main events. We got two, and I'm making it sound like these guys are actually going to fight each other. They're not going to fight each other. But you'll see what I mean in a few minutes. Higoshioka versus Cody Bellinger. What the hell is he talking about? And on the other side, we got Andy Martino versus John Heyman. How dare I compete with Thursday Night Football? Well, I'm not going to keep it. Al Michaels and Kirk. Who's playing tonight anyway? What's up, big boss? What's good, man? Al Michaels banned me. Oh, well. Sorry, Al. Jesse Patterson, what's good? What's good? And are people caught? Did people get caught up by the title here? My co-main events. What's up, Mazza? Well, I'm glad you came on here because I want to ask you this too. So let me start this. We'll start with Higoshioka versus Bellinger first. So we're hearing a lot of chatter right now, right? And what we're hearing is from Juan Soto, from Yamamoto, from Bellinger, and Bellinger's probably of. Here he is, Jake. What's good, man? The Bills are beating the Bucks 24-10 in the third quarter. I'm actually I'm putting out something on my football channel tomorrow. For those of you who don't know, I have a football channel called Empire State Tripod. If you're a football fan, please come on and join and subscribe to that channel as well. I'd love to get you on. Trying to get to 1,000 subscribers so we can start live streaming and get you guys in the conversation too. But the Bills are looking to add a weapon too. So there's a little bit of chatter about could they get Saquon Barkley from the Giants? Could they get the Renfro? I know was it one of their tight ends went down now with surgery, so I think they're looking for a tight end now too. So, but there's a lot of chatter going on, and I'm going to be putting out a video tomorrow that goes into my five most likely players traded at the NFL trade deadline. For those that don't know, the NFL trade deadline is next Tuesday, Halloween, October 31st. So, Jesse Patterson. What's up, CW? All right, so let's get to this. Higoshioka versus Bellinger. All right, so Bellinger himself is one of the most sought after free agents. He's a lefty bat that the Yankees need. Contact, he hits with power. He's got speed. He does a lot of things. He checks a lot of boxes off with the Yankees. But that said, he also comes with he will come with a qualifying offer. It hasn't officially happened yet until after the World Series, but he will come with a qualifying offer. Therefore, that means a contract is going to be required, as well as forfeiting 2 draft picks and international signing money. Now, when you look at who might be leaving the Yankees, who has a chance of leaving the Yankees, there's a couple of guys here. Okay, for those of you who haven't heard, today they put Ben Warfet and Kyle Higoshioka on the trading block, and so 2 catchers on the trading block. Sounds like they're going to go with the Jose Trevino, Austin Wells platoon at catcher. So I put YouTube shorts out on this stuff too. So If you're not subscribed to this channel, please do so. Please just hit that notification bell. That way you know exactly when things pop up. Because I put up any random news that comes out, I'll get it to you immediately. And hitting that notification bell, make sure that you find out you're one of the first people to get the stuff. So, but Higoshioka and Bellinger. So let's see this. Guys that can go out, Glaber Torres, but he would likely, in my opinion, be able to bring back. He's got 1 year of control left. He would likely bring back a major league player or major league pitcher or a couple, right? Then we go to Ben Rortvedt. He's got a couple years of control. He's an elite defender. He hasn't caught up with his bat yet. He'll likely bring back a couple of draft picks, right? Kyle Higashioka, in my opinion, would likely either bring back a moderate prospect or international prospect money. And that, I think, is where the Yankees can recoup the most value for Kyle Higashioka, which is why I'm bringing up Higashioka versus Bellinger, because he's the only guy, I think, that'll likely be able to get back international spending money. And they're going to have to forfeit a good chunk of it to sign it. If the Yankees do sign Bellinger, they're going to get they gave up 20% of it last year, almost 20% to sign Carlos Rodon. Think about it. It's $1 million. And if you get a couple 100,000 back in international and prospect money by sending out Higashioka rather than getting prospects or anybody else, that's a pretty good return. Pretty good return. So I would be looking for international prospect, international spending money, which can keep them in the running for these highly touted players, right? Or get them a couple other, positional moderate players too. So, yeah, I mean, Ryan Wills will probably hit better against lefties next year. He had an OPS of 800. Yeah, I think Wells will be fine. So, personally, fortunately, so would it be possible for the Yankees? And we'll get to the Soto stuff too. Would it be possible for the Yankees to package Rizzo and Higgy in a deal together with prospects or Soto? I personally don't think so, because I don't think they need another catcher, but you never know. It's not going to mean, they won't have to give up probably either Drew Thorpe or Will Warren and probably some high-end prospects. They're going to have to give up high-end pieces anyway, but maybe Rizzo and Higgy could be pieces. I mean, Rizzo's name was floated around today. Those of you haven't heard, I put out my video this morning, and Rizzo's name's been floated around today, apparently in the Yankee circles. And and you never really know. And if Higgy's another veteran, and the reason the reason why I would probably not package him to San Diego, my opinion is only because you'd be getting back Soto and probably nothing else. I don't think you get international money back from Higgy. So I would package Higgy to a separate place, but you never know. Maybe they'll go for Rortvedt. He's got more controllable years. I think 2 or 3. Higgy's got 1. So you never know. You never know. So, so that's the Higashioka versus Bellinger card. On the flip side, okay, this one's more fascinating. Andy Martino and John Heyman. Andy Martino's been reporting that the Yankees have had preliminary conversations with the Padres about Soto. They've kind of taken the step and shown that they're interested. And this stuff is kind of public all over the place now. And which is an encouraging sign for a lot of Yankee fans. Now, John Heyman put out something tonight saying that they didn't talk to them. So, but, there's no backtracking from Andy Martino. He actually put out more stuff regarding a potential Soto momentum and stuff like that, rather than backtracking. And remember, John Heyman, I had a question for you. John Heyman is the guy who put out the premature report on Aaron Judge to the Giants. Remember that? And fans were calling for this guy's head. They were calling him a bum, a joke, a fraud, and they wanted this guy eaten by grizzly bears, right? And they were, laughing at him. They pretty much got on him for about a year. But all of a sudden, we have people already believing John Heyman saying they didn't talk to them, even though he can't confirm it with a corroborating article, and there's no backtracking by Andy Martino. My question is, have we gotten to the point where we've gotten so much anti-Cashman, anti-Hal propaganda fed to us on a regular basis that we can't believe any type of encouraging news in Yankee land? That's the question. I'm more curious. I want to learn from you folks. Is that the mentality that we're having out there? And this is the thing, right? Martino's given us some stuff. Heyman's trying to say that it didn't happen, but again, Anybody can say it didn't happen. Um, and again, Heyman actually had to backtrack and apologize for his premature arson judge, uh, which turned into like a ridiculous phenomenon in itself. But he had to backtrack and apologize for that stuff. Martino has not done yet. He's actually added stuff this evening, saying that the Yankees actually had a ton of scouts in San Diego leading up to the trade deadline and around the trade deadline in preparation for what it sounds like they were planning to do this offseason. At the very least, pursue him. So he added stuff to what he reported earlier today. So to me, um, that I think I sent and again, like I said in the video this morning, I'll believe it when I see it, an actual trade. But this is preliminary conversations. That's what he said they had. And again, like people can think of that what they want, but like, I mean, they're not in advanced talks or anything like that. They're not finalizing none of that stuff. But the fact is, if they had a preliminary conversation, that's more than the Yankees have done for a long time. And the fact that the Padres want to cut payroll, um, this feeds right into the hands of teams like the Yankees. So, and again, like, yeah, this is the thing, Eric. So, yeah, Padres are trying to cut payroll. Uh, they're trying to cut payroll, but they've also made it clear that they're not going to do a full rebuild, which gives me a little bit more confidence. It makes me tend to believe a little bit that Rizzo could be included in the trade because they can get a lefty bat in exchange for Soto, who can be productive if he's healthy, and it sounds like he is, for half the price. So, and which would keep them in at the very least productive, as well as whatever else they get for him in what do you call it in the trade. So prospects and controllable years and everything else. So yeah, there's logic to his reporting and his arguments here, and to me, I don't, I don't, I'm not automatically trusting Heyman after what he did with Aaron Judge. And again, why is anybody automatically trusting Heyman if people were calling him a fraud for like an entire year? And that's why I ask: Are we so programmed to the point now where there's so much anti-Cashman and anti-Hal BS that's out there every day that that's what we're kind of programmed to believe now? Is that what it is? Like, enlighten me, folks. And if you think that's so, then just say it. I mean, it's I want to know what kind of universe we're living in now in Yankee land. So it gives me a better understanding. But yeah, exactly, Fortran. It's just exactly, Maz, and this is why you know people can report for themselves. People can report for the fans too. You're right. Exactly. I mean, like you know, NFB's in the house. I don't know if you heard NFB, but we talked about the two cards here. On card number one, we got Higoshioka versus Bellinger, which we talked about, and we got Andy Martino versus John Heyman. So John Heyman's putting out a conflicting, exactly John Arson Judge is my exactly Arson Judge. So Heyman's trying to counter the reporting that Andy Martino's put out about Yankees in the preliminary talks with um, Padres about Soto. And again, he didn't say that they're in advanced talks or they're actively working on a trade. They said they had preliminary talks. So, like, in my opinion, John Heyman needs to kind of cool his jets a little bit here. But that's just my opinion. So, and as Brian Beck says here, much criticism as Cashman has gotten. He's been anytime there's a chance Soto could be available. Last trade deadline, Wells, Jones, and Peraza all weren't playing the day before. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I mean, it's just, you know, I wonder how much decision making abilities had taken from him over the last year or so. I really wonder. I really, really do. But we'll see. But again, I like to get reporting that encourages people and gives us something to potentially look forward to. And like I said, and I say it repeatedly, we'll believe it when we actually see it. If a trade happens, then it happens. If it doesn't, at least we know that the Yankees are showing that they're interested, which is a lot more than they normally do. So that's good, right? But yeah, D-Rod's in the house, NFE's in the house. The crew is here, man. The crew is here. Marcus is in the house. See, yeah, man, it does seem that way. It does. It really, really does, bro. And why is the question? Why we, well, not we, because I don't, but like, why are so many folks believing the people who trash these guys on a regular basis and can't back up their own arguments with any facts or proof? I don't understand. That's another thing I'm trying to comp get my wrap my head around. You know what I mean? I mean, it looks like they're yeah, Tanya. I mean, it does look like they're favorites. I mean, but again, it's got to happen. And like I said too, I think it's going to take a little while because they're undergoing a managerial change right now, and the Yankees are undergoing a hitting coach change. And I think Soto's probably going to want to see what happens in both areas. And again, it's not like he has to give the blessing. They can trade him wherever he wants. He's an arbitration player. He's not a 5-10 player. He can't veto anything. But, out of respect for the guy and wanting to maximize the return on him, I think they're going to honor that too. So, Padres. Yeah, and Matt Chapman's probably a hard pass for me for Yankees. It's going to cost way too much money for third base. I would rather have DJ at third base or Oswald Peraza at first base. But that's just me, Jose. You never know. You never know. I worry about another Josh Johnson situation, but he's not known to be as at times obnoxious as Donaldson. They're both elite defenders. He tends to have a little bit better bat at this point. He's a couple years younger than Donaldson, so. But I would invest that money elsewhere. I would invest that money in a lefty bat if I'm Dan Jose. But you never know. They can get Chapman. You never know. Oh. I like to see a story with a viable replacement for Cashman as well. Yeah, exactly. Nobody puts out viable replacements that are actually realistic. People just say, "Oh, Theo Epstein, Theo." He's not going to come back to do this. Like, let's be real, gang. Would he be he'd probably be the most credible person to replace him. But again, it looks to me he's being groomed as being the next baseball commissioner. So he's got bigger things in store than to come back and believing, um, you know, that type of stuff. I think he's got better. I think he's got bigger fish to fry. The UFCs. That's what I meant to say. Yeah, man. Like, want to believe you. We need results. Oh, yeah, of course, Mr. Bryan. We need results. Yeah, of course. Evie Patty's more reliable than John Heyman. But what do you think about that, NFE? Have you heard? Did you hear me when I was talking about it? Um, I'm curious to know what you guys and gals think. I mean, if they got so without giving up Jones or Thorpe, that would be pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. Deserve complete forgiveness. I would think so. That'd be a genius trade, man. I mean, it really, really would be. Good to see you too, Jay. Yeah, at offseason, just so you folks know, here's some dates to keep in mind. So right after the World Series ends, let's just say it ends on a Tuesday, right? Wednesday, for the 5 days after the end of the World Series, is the exclusive period for teams to re-sign their own free agents. After that 5 day period's over, then unrestricted free agency starts, and teams can sign anybody they want after those 5 days. So, and then you have the non-tender dates, you have the option dates, like all these other dates too, qualifying offer deadlines. But that's when unrestricted free agency starts 5 days after the World Series. Or day number 6, I think it is. So those are the important dates to know. Whatever day the World Series ends, that's when the countdown starts. So that's what the reporting is telling us, Ali. The Yankees have been preliminarily talking to the Padres about Soto. So teams have been favorites for 4 minutes. Yeah, nothing, absolutely nothing is a done deal. 100% no. No. Damn right. Yeah, I would take Candelario over Chapman too. It's gonna be cheaper. He's younger, switch hitter, more athletic, and He's got more versatility. Chapman's definitely an elite third baseman, but we could put Peraza in there and get the same elite defense. Wonder if Council. I know Council apparently is going to interview with the Mets. And we'll interview with the Astros as well. Dusty Baker officially retired today. For those that don't know, um, so when it can, I think teams can trade pretty much right away, as far as I know. Let me check. Let's see. Let me take a look at that. Um, when can MLB teams trade after World Series? Let's see. Right after the World Series. I'm going to read this right from me. Trades involving players signed to major league contracts are prohibited from the trade deadline, end of that trade deadline, to the end of the World Series. So the day after the World Series ends, players can be traded. So, yep, the trade market opens up again the day after the World Series finale. So, well, there you go. The day after. And then unrestricted free agency starts 5 days after the World Series. So, good question, Bryce. Good question. Yeah. There you go. Jake Buss confirmed it too. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we need Matt Chapman, honestly. I don't think we need him. What's up, Tim King? What's good, man? Didi Gregorius on you. Why? Didi was on your flight? That's awesome, Anthony Michael. You shook hands, and hopefully he was cool. He looks pretty cool. That's awesome. Udo's in the house. Mazel tov, my friend. How are you? One thing. Thing I want to stop is Boone and Cashman talking about back of baseball card a year older. Players breakdown. What do you mean? I'm not sure. I'm not sure I get it. Maybe that again. Talking about back baseball card a year older. I want to make sure I understand what you're referring to, Udo. So Tim King's perfect offseason here would be Soto, Bellinger, Yamamoto, and Josh Hader. The also news that came out today is the Yankees are seriously interested in Yuki Matsui, who's the Japanese closer, lefty closer. And again, he will cost a hell of a lot cheaper than Josh Hader. So, and I think both are lefty. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I think Hader's going to get paid one way or the other. He's going to get paid, Tim King. Getting excited and being let down. Well, I mean, it's okay to get excited. I try to keep it realistic, and the reporting is the reporting. So it's designed to get us riled up and blah blah blah. And I'll keep putting out the reporting. I'm not going to manipulate it, but I'm going to also give you both sides of it if I have both sides, which is why I do pretty much at everything in all my videos is to give you both sides, good or bad, because I want you to have a thorough understanding of what's going on, so you can make educated opinions. So I don't want you to just follow what I say and say I'm right. I won't do that. I'm not going to do that. I want you to have the full story. So that elevates the conversation in this place too. If Oswaldo goes in the Soto trade, would it make sense for us to sign Kiki? I don't know, JT. I mean, if Oswaldo goes, they got DJ. Even though he doesn't play the outfield, I don't know. It's a good question. It's an interesting one, JT. I don't know. Cashman always saying that players aren't playing. It's at the back of their car, but they're getting older. Yeah, I mean, it's just it's I think one of the problems is they have one good year and then fans and other people come up with these ridiculous expectations for them. Ridiculous. I mean, McCole came in, he had an adjustment period. Just because he wasn't winning 25 games and striking out 300 guys a season, they were calling him a bust. They were saying that's the Cortez the ace when everybody knows that's not true. But this is the territory we live in. The expectation is sometimes ridiculous and unrealistic in Yankee world. So that comes with the territory. So yeah, I mean, you know, I would like for them to just play why they were brought here. It's like Juan Soto's on base percentage machine, good contact hitter, hits the ball, he puts the ball in play. He's got some power. I would like them to continue to do that if he came here. I don't want. I'm not expecting to get 40 home runs and 120 RBIs just because it's Yankee Stadium and the short porch. No, I'd want him to continue to doing what he's doing. Like I'm not going to expect Aaron Judge to hit 50 to 60 home runs for the next 9 years per year. It's like that's ridiculous. But if he gets 35 to 40, even that to me is pretty damn good for the next bunch of years. I'll take it. So I think the expectations are crazy sometimes. There's a 50-50 chance I sign IKF, man. I could see him being moving on for agency, honestly. Hitting coach, I'm not sure yet, but Luis, I would watch out for Carlos Beltran. I would watch out for Carlos Beltran. He's got a shot. One of the guys I think has the mindset and the skill set to adapt to analytics and non-analytics in a way that translates him, especially when being a switch hitter who's probably borderline Hall of Fame, who could probably translate it to the hitters. Because one of the problems that the Yankees had, I think, and that went from Dylan Lawson to Casey too, is the analytics approach, the Dylan Lawson approach, worked in every level of the system, but never translated up to the majors. And what's that transition? What's the reason it didn't translate from AAA to the majors? And I think they haven't found that out yet. And bringing in a player of somebody like Beltran's stature who might be able to communicate this effectively to the players and figure these things out as being a pro hitter, a good pro hitter, maybe that'll work and come in handy. So there he is. Clemens is in the house. Candelaria over here. Yeah, so would I, Brian Beck. I'm with you there, brother. Clemens is in the house. No, I know. I understand now, you. It makes sense, man. I always appreciate your thoughts too. I agree, Billy. The idea of Rizzo being a potential trade piece for Soto is intriguing. It's very intriguing because then you can clear up another 20. He makes about 20 million a year, Anthony Rizzo, at least for one more year. Clearing up that much, and it's going to make Soto's probably going to make anywhere between 30 and 33 apparently, so he'll make more. But it would send the major league piece, a lefty hitting major league piece, back to the Padres, so that they don't have to look for somebody else, at least for temporarily. So, um, and again, they need to cut at least $50 million, but they said that they're not going to rebuild. So how are they going to do that? By probably getting a combination of major leaguers and minor leaguers in a trade. What type of trade? I don't know. So, John, I think the Yankees offseason's got to be busy. It's got to be smart. They need to address multiple holes, pitching and hitting. So, I don't know. Padres don't. How do we know the Padres don't want Rizzo? You get a source confirming that, Truth Hurts? Just out of curiosity. I don't think any one prospect is off limits, Ollie. I think it's going to be a combination of outfield and pitching, most likely. Most likely. So, but if it can add a major league player, you can add a major league player. I don't think this is not a situation where the Padres are going to get as much from the Yankees as the Nationals got from the Padres. They traded for 2.5 years of Soto. We're trading for 1 year of Soto. The package is going to be very different. Very different. So it's something to keep in mind too. But I'll believe it when I see it too, Billy. But if he becomes a trade piece, Rizzo for Soto, it is intriguing. Yes, it is. I know what you're saying, Mr. Bryan. Like, but like media can all media. If you can't handle New York media and even New York fans, they'll humble you, man. They'll eat you alive. And keep your ego at home. You know what I mean? Most definitely. Most definitely, my man. Who else would be in on or could afford Soto at the I mean a couple teams. I think the Mariners, the Dodgers. I think the Mets are gonna be heavy on Otani and but the Mets can obviously afford him too. Uh, Probably no more than a handful. Because I don't think there's not even amount of teams I could put on one hand that will be able to give him the type of extension he's going to get. So, and the prospect capital at the same time. You know what I mean? And the ability to take on a bad contract if for some reason that's what they want an acquiring team to do. You never know. The Yankees have the ability to do all this stuff. You know what I mean? If you don't give us an iota of a chance towards a ring, you're dead to us. Yeah, I know what I mean. It's just I know I get it, Mr. Bryan. Like, and this is the thing, like, you know, too much too much of the responsibility is put on like single players. And then people have to stop saying, and it's just my opinion, but like we gotta stop hyping up saying that Jason Dominguez is the next Mike Trout, the next Mickey Mantle. I mean, come on. Ridiculous expectations, and people expect this stuff. And then if it doesn't happen, then those same people are gonna call him a bust, a bum. Like, you know, where's the logic in the stuff and the reason in some of the stuff? I don't understand. But it is what it is. That's what comes with the territory in Yankee fan land. So, but this, yeah, I mean, yeah. Judge is a great defender. We won't lose that. We definitely won't lose that. Yeah, Beltran. You see, this is the type of stuff like picking up on pitch tipping. Like he's good at a lot of things, and I think this is where he can be helpful to the Yankees lineup and their roster. And again, like maybe that's one of the things that they should. And I can't confirm that, but maybe that's one of the things they struggled with analytics wise from AAA up to the major leagues. It didn't translate the way that he wanted it to translate. So, and apparently the what do you call it? Sean Casey was a better communicator than Dylan Lawson was, like verbally, but Lawson's message and Lawson's philosophy was not being translated up to the majors. So, to certain players who are used to it, like Volpe and Peraza, Pereira, some of those guys, they struggled, and we don't know if it was a technical thing in terms of the analytics itself, or Casey not communicating it a certain way. We don't know what the heck it is. There's so much stuff, you know what I mean? If Cashman gets Soto back, well, what's the point of the hate to begin with? What is it doing for you, CD? I'm just out of curious. What's it do for you? What I think it'll take to get Soto, it's going to take one of our top two pitchers, probably one of our top two hitters, uh, probably four players, you Elvis, at the end of the day. Probably four players total. Yeah, apparently we're hearing that the Yankees are not communicating the message of the analytic philosophy um, as well from AAA to the majors as well as they did from AAA down. It worked in every level of the system except for the majors. So something to be said for that. I don't exactly know whether they abandon some of those principles at the major league level or I don't know. I don't know. Reggie Jackson would never happen. He's got too much of a mouth. Wade Boggs. I don't know. David Ortiz. I don't know if David Ortiz would happen. No, Dusty Baker is not coming out of retirement to be the Yankees manager. We got to stop with the Boone. Boone's staying. So, like, that is a waste of a conversation. In all honesty, all due respect, but they've already said Boone's staying. So Dusty Baker's not going to come out of retirement for that. Wade Boggs. I mean, I could see a Wade Boggs as a candidate. David Ortiz, I don't know. I mean, he would get so much hate going from Red Sox to the Yankees. Like that would Red Sox fans would be fuming at the gills, man. But I think Carlos Beltran kind of represents probably the most ideal fit at this point. But we'll see. We'll see. You trade Mr. Cortez, Spencer Jones, and a couple of minor league pitchers. It might cost that. You know, it might cost that. It really would. I think I'd be okay with that. Yeah, and if he's yeah, Padres getting Anthony doesn't make sense just because of the veteran presence he could be through minor team. Yeah, exactly. Some of the young players, he's a class guy in the clubhouse. That would be missed here. Okay, but that's not an irreplaceable quality either. The Yankees could get that um, elsewhere. At the end of the day, like the prize is Juan Soto. You know, he's the pot of gold. And the fact is, the Yankees have to come to them. They're not going to come to the Yankees. So, which is why another reason why I'm believing of this the reporting on Martino saying the Yankees initiated these preliminary conversations, and they had a load of scouts at the deadline in preparation for this. So this could have been like a strategic planning for the Yankees for a while now. I mean, they're really really good. So, um, yeah, he Rizzo was wasn't he a Padre? He was a Padre prospect or something like that, Mr. Bryan. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm hoping that Rizzo comes back healthy and productive next year, Michael, because he's good when he's healthy. I really do. Kim Meng. I mean, King. If Kim Meng came in here as the GM, Cashman would be moved to another position. I don't think they're going to fire Cashman to bring in Kim Meng. So, she'll be part. Like she will be, in my opinion, added to the brain trust. Another brain, another good baseball person. So Juan Gonzalez was scared to come here. I mean, Jeff Weaver didn't make it. Like Zach Greinke didn't want to come here. Um, Javi Vasquez, he struggled too. Jack McDowell hated it here. So just this is what happens, man. So it's a good point, You make a good point. Yeah, that's a good point too, Hawaiian. Like Rizzo will be an upgrade if the mentors Machado or even Tatis. Having another seasoned veteran there like Rizzo would complement those guys well. It would definitely be an upgrade in character and energy in the clubhouse. That's a good point, Juan. That's a great point. Yeah, remember that, Billy? Like a month ago or 2 months ago, people were like, you have to give Otani everything. You have to like he'll change everything and blah blah blah. Like, and now all of a sudden, where's the Otani obsession? I this is nothing I'm curious about. Like, you know, how how do people's positions change so consistently and so often? You know, Yamamoto is the guy to get on the pitching side, man. In my opinion, it's the guy to get on the pitching side. I forget everybody else. Yamamoto. They're not going to trade Garrett Cole or Judge. You don't have to worry about that, Ollie. They're going to build around these two guys. These guys are cornerstone players. They're going to build around them. They won't trade those bad boys. With no World Series titles, Council going to get more than Torrey. I mean, Torrey managed the Yankees like 25 years ago. It's different now. You know, different story. But yeah, it's just the way that it's. Chances are he might manage the Mets Council. So it sounds like he's the right fit for what they want to do. And Yeah, but money now is just crazy, man. Crazy. No manager in 6 managers in 10 years. D-Rod. Yeah, I mean, maybe a good veteran presence helps to stabilize that a little bit. So, um, you know, look for Cashman to trade salary before prospects. DJ Rizzo and Stanton. Yeah. I don't think DJ's being moved. Stanton's not being moved. There's no way. Rodon's not being moved either. So of all those guys, I could see Rizzo being moved. There's no way they're going to trade Rodon. No way they're going to trade Stanton. And highly unlikely they're going to trade DJ. Who makes less per season than Rizzo does. But crazier things have happened. Ali, Judge and Cole are not going anywhere. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I think those guys are going to be the next two guys to get their numbers retired. I'm with NFE in there. Darryl Strawberry was the next Ted Williams. Well, who said Darryl Strawberry was the next Ted Williams? Is the question, Michael. And I don't buy that either. Like, who said that? It's like this ridiculous hyping. Like Ted Williams, is like he's a baseball hitting god. Eric, thank you so much for the super chat, man. I appreciate that. Appreciate the generosity. Why are saying they want Rizzo? He's washed up and can't hit. I don't know if he's washed up, brother. He had a concussion last year. He was misdiagnosed, and sounds like he's getting healthy. So you can still count on him for probably 20 home runs and elite defense at first base. So um, I wouldn't worry too much about. I would expect a resurgent season, and again, to me, Rizzo would be a complimentary piece. They're going to get a bunch of minor leaguers, no top prospects, no doubt, and Rizzo just did to replace some of the production from Soto. So that's the way I think about it. And we'll see. Jonathan, what's up, my man? Yep, the Rangers really hyped up Jurickson Profar. Yes, he did. Now he's with the he got released by the Rockies, I think, right? Jason Dominguez going yard in the show. Yeah, I mean, he had a great 2 weeks, but 2 weeks is 2 weeks, right, Billy? So prove it for a year, and then I'll start considering any type of comparison. But aside from that, I love this 2 weeks, but he got hurt, so which sucks. But you know, we'll see how well he can rebound, and I hope he rebounds well, Billy. I really, really do. But I remember the overhyping of Profar. Yep. I mean, look at Juan DeFranco. But now it's a different story. Not injuries or on production. He's you know, talking about statutory rape or whatever you want to call it, or whatever his situation is. That's just a mess there. So I don't think I don't think Montez gets. I don't see the logic in bringing back Montez. To be honest with you, Udall. I hope they don't. I really do. I think they're going to non-tender either all of the guys or 90% of them. Like seriously. Boone was fine when the kids came up. I'm only bitched about Boone when our team sucked. Yeah, I mean, this is what happens, right? When the team plays well, you give credit to the players. When the team doesn't play well and the players aren't doing their jobs, they blame Boone. Where does this logic come from, Ryan? Like, you know what I mean? Who's feeding people this trash on a regular basis? It doesn't make any sense. Any sense at all. You know? Can you enlighten us, Ryan? Beltran Pena, I don't know. Israel. I think Beltran, um, he's an intriguing possibility. And I'm with Billy too. I think Montez will be a project for another, maybe a national team, or maybe back to Oakland. I don't think Beltran will get another chance to not right now at least, but he might be an intriguing possibility for Yankees hitting coach. Um, I think he's one of the few guys, being a borderline Hall of Famer and a switch hitter. He's one of the guys that can translate, probably effectively communicate uh, the analytic philosophy and the non-analytic philosophy to Yankees hitters. So this is one of the things I think they're having a problem with because the analytic approach with Dylan Lawson or whatever he did, it worked on every level of the minor leagues except for the majors. And that disconnect between that last level, got to find the right person to communicate the difference and what happened there and the solutions. And maybe Beltran's that guy. Could maybe he won't be, but maybe he is. So I think there'll be other uh, folks to be candidates too. You know, uh, let's see. Listening to Judge and Rizzo, would Judge oppose any trade involving Rizzo? I doubt it if it's going to bring in Juan Soto. And Juan Soto's an upgrade over pretty much everybody in baseball. So, especially Anthony Rizzo. So, I like Rizzo, don't get me wrong, but if it means getting Soto back, I think Judge would be okay with it. Honestly. No, Jonathan, I don't know if you heard, I put out a short earlier. Higoshioka and Ben Rortveck, I put on the trading block today. Yankees put him on trading block. JJ, I'm going Diamondbacks in 7. Diamondbacks in 7 over Texas. Mm-hmm. Selling peanuts work money. Yeah, it did, Billy. It's a Dick Clemenza. Leave the gun, man. Take the cannoli, huh? Yeah, we'll see what you do. I mean, apparently they're going to have bigger roles this year. What to what extent? I don't know, but they're apparently going to have bigger roles this year. That's all I know. Rizzo could get traded. That's I mean, the speculation. His name's being floating around as a possible piece heading back to Padres for Soto. But again, we'll believe it when we see it. Believe when we see it. Yeah, I mean somebody's going to bite on him, Ryan. You know what I mean? He's not pitching at all in 2024. It's just going to hit, and you know, um, it's true, Ryan. He's just going to hit this year. He's not going to pitch. Going to need the whole year to recover from Tommy John. No, I mean, we were talking about the playing to the back of their cards and how it translated to the expectations that people put on some of these Yankee players, which is sometimes outlandish. You know, and I don't know where they get it from, but like, and why they come up with these expectations. Like, you know, why we think somebody hit 35 somewhere home runs and somewhere else can hit 50 here, according to what? You know what I mean? So we got. I think that's we got to chill with that. Yeah, I think Torres gets moved, man. I really do. And Oakland's terrible. You know, Oakland's terrible. Right word, Lifer? Yeah. The next Marion Barry. Damn, dude. Wow. That's a good one word, Lifer. Oh man. Oh man. He was trade Stanton. Yeah, I can't see Stanton being traded. I can't. I just can't see it. I really can't. Yeah, I mean, Udall, his lackadaisical approach on defense a lot of times offsets his production in offense. So, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's true. Of course, you don't. You know that, man. Judge cannot veto a trade for another player. Players don't have. He can't even veto his own trade. He's not even a 10-5. You have to be in the majors for 10 years, the last 5 with the same team in order to veto any trade for your that you're involved in. He can't veto a Juan Soto trade. I don't think he's gonna care about Juan Soto outshining him. I think he's an adult and he's mature and he wants the team to get better. And he knows that Juan Soto's gonna make more money than him too. Like, you know, A-Rod was an egomaniac. So, you know, Judge seems to have his head together a little bit more. So I don't I'm not worried about the A-Rod Jeter thing. So you know, Jeter, I mean Judge and Juan Soto would be very complimentary for each other. You know what I mean? I think they're gonna be fine. Judge is a grown up, so I'm not worried about that type of stuff. And again, Judge knows that Soto's look when Soto's signing his deal is going to be 6 years, almost 6 years younger than Judge. He's going to make more money per year. He's going to get a longer deal. Judge knows this. He can't stop it. It'd be stupid to try. You know, what's the point, right? Your bullpen will be a lot. Yeah, exactly. We need better starting pitching, which is why we need to get this guy freaking Yamamoto over here, man. Add that pitcher to can give us some length, and you move Michael King there. You could probably get 6, 7 innings out of him on a regular basis, and then you have a guy like Nestor Cortez if he's not traded in long relief with Johnny Brito and Randy Vasquez. And this is one of the things that I've said a while is that the freaking um, long relief is a bridge from the starting pitching to the short inning guys. And why it's not used more often, I have no idea. Yankees would be wise to utilize their long relief guys regularly. They really, really would. Tell them, Udall. Roll it, man. Yanks, I mean, loves ball. He's an elite pitch framer, an elite defensive player, D-Ron, but his bat's never caught up at the major league level. So, and he's got controllable years. So the Yankees could probably get a couple of prospects for him, or maybe add him to a trade. You know, so and Higashioka's got one more year left. I mean, if I'm the Yankees, I'm looking to move Higashioka for international spending money because if they happen to sign Cody Bellinger, that's one of the things they're going to forfeit, and they would probably get that easier than they would prospects for Higashioka. So I would want to replenish what I'm going to lose signing a guy like Bellinger or one of these other big free agents. So you know what I mean? That's my kind of logic with Higashioka. That's why I said Higashioka versus Bellinger. Because if Bellinger comes here, qualifying offers come with him. On the way out is the contract, 2 draft picks, international money. Higashioka, I think, can help us recoup some of the international money. So that part makes sense to me. No. As far as I know, we're lifer. He's all for Yanks getting Soto. All for him. So yeah, and A-Rod was like you know, what do you call it? Trash talking Jeter before they got here. You're right about that. And they were also shortstops. A-Rod was obviously a better shortstop, better hitter, but he came here. Yankees, I mean, Jeter was the Yankee shortstop, so he moved to third. So Judge and Soto don't even play the same positions. But one's a righty, one's a lefty, and they would complement each other perfectly. Really would. And the fact is the Yankees need left-handed bats that can hit for contact. He checks every single box the Yankees could think of. Oh, you know what I mean? What is this? What idea? I don't see an idea here. Oh, trade for Nolan Jones. Play third base when Spencer Jones came out. Nolan Jones or Ryan McMahon, I think, would be intriguing possibilities, but you know, I'd be looking for the left-handed bats of Soto and Bellinger, but no, I mean, they can get Nolan Jones. Let's see. Let's have a look at Nolan Jones's. Let's have a look really quick. Two things, right? No, wait a minute. Nolan Jones. Let's have a look here. Let's pull him up. So, infielder and an outfielder. I wonder if he's kind of like a Brandon Donovan. Now, could they move Glaber Torres in the trade for this guy, Nolan Jones? Let's have a look. He's how old is he? 25. All right, so he's right around Glaber Torres' age. Now let's look at his contract. Nolan Jones is like a pretty good contact hitter too. With the Rockies, I should say. He's pre-arb for 2 more seasons in 26, 27, 28 arb. He's not afraid until 2029. So he's a guy, if you can get him in a trade, like him or a Brendan Donovan, those are the types of guys you want here. Controllable years on the cheap. So Brian, that's an intriguing idea, Brian. It really is. It really is an intriguing idea. Nolan Jones for prospects. I mean, it would cost a good amount of prospects. And then when Spencer Jones comes up, move Nolan to third base. Interesting. Well, you got Jason Dominguez too. Like, you don't have a great night, my man. I don't think it's going to cost Volpe. They don't need Volpe, Billy. Padres. Where are they going to play him? Peraza. I mean, where would they play Peraza? I mean, Peraza's out of options too. So now they're going to have to play him regularly, and they have no place to play him. That's the problem with Peraza, which is why I think Clemenza that any trade for Soto would probably cost outfield prospects and pitching. You know what I mean? So, but we'll see. We'll see. So yeah, I'm right here. We're live. I'm with you there too. Right, Udo? Yes, indeed. I'll wrap this up in a minute too, gang. But those are the two things: Higoshioka versus Bellinger and Martino versus Heyman. Anybody has any questions? Again, Higoshioka can extract some value back in terms of international money. I think, in my opinion, to replenish what Bellinger would cost us if he came to the Yankees. And Heyman's trying to counter Andy Martino's reporting. So, and I'm curious as to why so. I believe Hayden too. I believe Martino more than I do Heyman at this point. And I don't know. I wonder why fans are automatically believing Heyman when I said, like, so many fans called him a fraud last year because he's the guy that prematurely reported Judge to the Giants and the arson judge, blah, blah, blah. Then he had to backtrack that and apologize and all this other stuff. Now he's saying that the Yankees didn't talk to the Padres. Like, how can you confirm that is the problem? And why are people just automatically believing him? People that called him a fraud last year. Like, well, I'm trying to, is a disconnect to me. So, but yeah, I think the Yankees will be active in the winter meetings. Yes, I do. Heyman said today that the Yankees and Padres have not talked yet, and blah blah blah. But again, yeah, maybe he's trying to make up exactly. Yeah, and I don't see any reason for Martino to lie either. And he backed up his reporting with a more information today. He said today, like, that the Yankees also had a bunch of scouts in San Diego scouting Soto leading into the trade line and at the trade deadline with the plan to pursue him this offseason. So just I believe Martino more than I do Heyman at this juncture. So yeah, exactly. Word lifer. Heyman reported New York Liberty referring to channels. Exactly. But that's what we got for you. I wanted to see what your thoughts were, gang. I appreciate you all coming on. Thank you for the super chat too. And if you haven't hit that thumbs up, please hit that thumbs up. We always try to get to 100 likes. You're blocked by Heyman. He doesn't enjoy us. Enjoy. Well, should have said it, right? So, you know what I mean? Heyman's not the biggest name, but and this is why I was wondering. Like I'm asking people, why are people flip flopping their positions here? Why I believe people believing automatically believing him when a lot of the same people calling him a joke and a fraud and a liar last year with his Aaron Judge stuff. Like, what all of a sudden made you believe this and just completely just rule out what Andy Martino said? You know what I mean? Curious. I had Bobby Malone on. We were talking about Yankees finance. He even texted me. He said that Martino may have jumped the gun here, but um, I didn't get any info as to who said that. No. Um, hmm, we'll see. We'll see. Now we're seeing we expect Heyman to have more of it, but we're hearing a formal call has not happened. We don't. I mean, how can we confirm that? That's the thing. Like, it's hard to confirm. What's Heyman just going to reinforce what he already said? So Rosenthal was on the Heyman Sherman podcast this week. Worth a listen. I'll check it out, D-Rod. Yankees analytics need to change. Yeah, they need to use it better. They really do. Yeah, exactly. We're a lifer. Oh man, I'm telling you, Ian Hawaii, I appreciate that, brother. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. But have a great night, everybody. Who replaces Sean Casey? Don't know yet, Jonathan. And I was saying earlier that they need somebody who can effectively communicate the analytics side and the non-analytics side of hitting to the players. And in a way that Casey was not able to do it, in a way that Dylan Lawson was not able to do. Since he was a switch hitter, borderline Hall of Famer, and he might be one of these guys to communicate the message in a way as a former high end player. So, it's a name I would take him over like a Nick Swisher or a team. Like Nick Swisher to me would be better suited as a bench coach, like a Consigliere here. You know what I mean? My opinion, but that's just me. We'll see. Beltran is an intriguing name. I'm curious to know if they're actually going to consider him. So, Glaber plus the yeah, imagine that, Wookie. Where would you play O'Neal Cruz? Is the question. We got Volpe. Where would we play O'Neal Cruz? You know, thing. Jeff Paston's one of the biggest names, and he hasn't counted any of this stuff. So Swisher has an argument. He can argue with the ump exactly. I don't know if he would. I have no idea. I can't confirm, but I don't know if he would bring as much hitting inside as Beltran would. I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. Frontline is next post saying yes first. Yeah, we a lot of us did that. Wolf hit second. Are telling me Rizzo is healthy. We getting that training staff. What's that, Eric? We can't confirm that he's healthy, but we're hearing that he's on his way back. We can't confirm anything yet, Eric. So, you know, none of us can even confirm what happened. It was misdiagnosed by training staff or the medical staff. We don't know. All we're going by is what other people say. And I just hope that he's better. Period. So I don't think Brett Gardner would be the guy. Hayden. I mean, it's an intriguing possibility. He's just recently retired, though. Not even retired actually. So he hasn't officially retired yet. But um, I'm not sure he'd be the guy to do it. I'm not sure. I wonder how he would adapt to analytics too. So I don't know. I mean, Beltran seems to be more the blue collar slash thinking hitter. Like I think the combination of some of the guys. So you said in your first show on Felix channel, I don't think Rizzo would ever be the same again. We unloaded him in the Soto deal. I mean, if they did that, Brian, then, like, that would be something freaking to marvel at, I'll tell you that much. My gosh. Shoot. Yeah. As bad as the Astros cheating was, the behavior of one of the brass to female reporters about Ozuna was a more. Oh, I remember that, Billy. I remember that. Yes, indeed. It's another thing to point out. Yeah, it's a good point, dude. We'll be hitting the ceiling. Exactly, Jonathan. Uh, they cover. Yeah, this is true, D-Rod. It's a good point. It's a good point, Billy. But yeah, have a great night, everybody. Thank you so much for coming on and joining me tonight. Appreciate you. Got more stuff coming. Peace and love to all ears, and we'll see you on the other side.